Life doesn't ask for permission before becoming difficult. One phone call, one unexpected problem, one failure, one loss, and suddenly, everything feels different. There are moments when you feel like giving up, moments when nothing seems to be working, when your plans fall apart, when you wonder if things will ever get better. But here's something important. Hard times don't last forever, and the people who come out stronger aren't always the smartest or the most talented. They're often the ones who learn how to keep moving forward, even when life feels heavy. Hello, my amazing students. My name is Sarah, and today we're going to learn English through one of the most important life skills anyone can develop: how to stay strong during hard times. This lesson isn't about pretending that life is always positive, because it isn't. Everyone experiences disappointment, failure, stress, loss, and uncertainty. The question isn't whether difficult times will come. The question is, how will you respond when they do? Today, we'll discover why your mindset matters more than your circumstances, how small actions can help you keep going, why accepting difficult emotions is healthier than hiding them, how challenges can help you grow, and how hope can become your greatest source of strength. While listening, you'll improve your English vocabulary, your listening comprehension, and your confidence with natural English. So don't just listen. Think about your own experiences, because these lessons aren't only about learning English, they're about becoming stronger every time life tests you. We'll explore this topic through 5 lessons. Lesson number 1, accepting that hard times are part of life. Lesson number 2, why your mindset shapes your strength. Lesson number 3, small steps can carry you through big problems. Lesson number 4, how challenges help you grow stronger. And finally, lesson number 5, never lose hope, even when life feels dark. Let's begin with lesson number 1, accepting that hard times are part of life. Before we start, can I ask you one question? A year from now, will your English be better than it is today? Or will you still be saying, "I'll start next week"? The truth is, most people don't fail because English is difficult. They fail because they never truly commit to it. That's why, for a limited time, I've reduced the price of the Native Flow English coaching experience to just $5. Not because it's worth only $5, but because I don't want money to be the reason you never start. For less than the price of a coffee, you can begin building a skill that can stay with you for the rest of your life. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Click the link in the description. Join us today, and I'll see you inside. Now, let's begin today's lesson. Nobody enjoys difficult days. If we had the choice, we would all choose a life without stress, without disappointment, without failure. But life doesn't work that way. No matter who you are, where you come from, or how successful you become, you will experience hard times. Sometimes you lose something important. Sometimes you fail, even after giving your best. Sometimes people disappoint you, and sometimes life changes without warning. Many people believe that successful people never struggle, but that's simply not true. Think about any successful athlete. Before winning a championship, they lost competitions, they got injured, they faced criticism, they wanted to quit. The same is true for successful business owners. Most of them experienced failure before they experienced success. Many famous authors had their books rejected. Great inventors failed hundreds of times before creating something that changed the world. Failure wasn't the end of their story. It was part of their journey. That's one of the biggest lessons we can learn. Hard times don't mean you're on the wrong path. They simply mean you're living a real life. Sometimes we make our suffering even worse by asking questions like, "Why is this happening to me?" But perhaps a better question is, "What can this experience teach me?" That small change in thinking can completely change how you face difficulties. Imagine you're learning English. You practice for weeks. Then one day, you try speaking with a native speaker. You make mistakes. You forget simple words. You feel embarrassed. At that moment, you have two choices. The first choice is to believe, "I'm terrible at English. I'll never improve." The second choice is to think, "Today showed me what I need to practice." The situation is exactly the same. Only your interpretation is different. Life often works like that. We cannot always control what happens, but we can choose how we respond. Another important thing to remember is that difficult emotions are normal. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel disappointed. Being strong doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect. Real strength means allowing yourself to feel those emotions without allowing them to control your future. Many people think they must always be positive, but that's impossible. Even the strongest people have bad days. They feel tired. They lose confidence. They doubt themselves. The difference is that they don't stay there forever. They give themselves time to recover, and then they continue moving forward. Think about the weather. A storm can last for hours, sometimes even days. The sky becomes dark. The wind becomes powerful. It feels like the sun has disappeared. But has the sun really gone? No. It's still there. The clouds are only covering it for a while. Our difficult moments are often like those clouds. They feel permanent, but they aren't. Eventually, the storm passes. The sky becomes clear again. Life follows the same pattern. Every challenge has an ending. Every difficult season eventually changes. That's why hope is so important. Not because life is always easy, but because difficult moments never last forever. So the next time life becomes difficult, don't think, "My life is falling apart." Instead, remind yourself, this is one chapter, not the entire story. Because accepting that hard times are a natural part of life doesn't make them disappear. But it does make you stronger, calmer, and better prepared to face whatever comes next. Lesson number 2. Why your mindset shapes your strength. When life becomes difficult, most people immediately focus on the problem. They think about everything that's going wrong, everything they've lost, everything they can't control, and while that's understandable, it often makes the situation feel even heavier. Here's something powerful to remember. Your circumstances influence your life, but your mindset influences how you experience those circumstances. Imagine two people lose their jobs on the same day. The first person says, "My life is over. I'll never recover from this." The second person says, "This is difficult, but I'll use this time to learn new skills and look for new opportunities." Both people face the same challenge, but they walk down completely different paths. Why? Because of the way they choose to think. Your mindset doesn't magically solve every problem, but it changes the way you approach those problems. Instead of feeling powerless, you begin looking for solutions. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What can I do next?" That one question shifts your attention from fear to action. Another important habit is learning to focus on what you can control. There are many things in life that are outside your control. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people's opinions. You can't change the past. And you can't predict the future. But you can control your attitude. You can control your effort. You can control how you spend today. Imagine you're stuck in heavy rain. You can complain for hours. You can become angry. But none of that will stop the rain. Instead, you grab an umbrella, walk carefully, and continue your journey. Life is often like that. Some situations can't be changed immediately, but your response is always your choice. Strong people understand this. They don't waste all their energy fighting reality. They accept what they cannot control and focus on what they can improve. Let's think about learning English again. Perhaps today you forgot many words. Maybe you couldn't understand a difficult podcast. Does that mean you should quit? Of course not. You simply ask, "What can I practice tomorrow?" One lesson, one conversation, one new word. Small actions always move you forward. Another mistake people make during hard times is believing that one bad day defines their future. Imagine you failed an important exam. Does that mean you'll fail every exam for the rest of your life? No. Imagine you made one mistake during a presentation. Does that mean you'll never become a confident speaker? Again, no. One moment never defines your entire story. Your future is shaped by what you choose to do after that moment. There's another powerful habit that helps people stay mentally strong: gratitude. Now, gratitude doesn't mean pretending your problems don't exist. It means refusing to let your problems hide everything that's still good in your life. Even during difficult times, there is often something to appreciate: your family, a supportive friend, your health, a new opportunity, a peaceful morning, or simply another chance to begin again. When you notice these small blessings, your mind becomes more balanced. You stop seeing only darkness. You begin noticing light again, and that gives you the strength to keep going. Remember, being mentally strong doesn't mean you never feel afraid. It means fear doesn't stop you from moving forward. It doesn't mean you never cry. It means you don't let sadness become the end of your story. Every difficult season gives you a choice. You can allow it to break your spirit, or you can allow it to build your character. The decision isn't always easy, but it is always yours. And often, the strongest people are not those who have lived the easiest lives. They're the ones who learned to think differently when life became difficult, because when your mindset becomes stronger, you become stronger too. Lesson number 3, small steps can carry you through big problems. When life feels overwhelming, our first instinct is often to solve everything at once. We tell ourselves, "I need to fix my entire life. I need to solve every problem today. I need to have all the answers." But that's impossible, and because it feels impossible, many people become so overwhelmed that they stop moving altogether. Here's an important truth. Big problems are rarely solved with one big action. They're usually solved with many small actions. Imagine you're standing at the bottom of a very high mountain. You look at the top. It seems so far away. You think, "There's no way I can climb all of that." But no one climbs a mountain in one giant step. They take one step, then another, eventually, they reach the top. Life works the same way. During difficult times, don't ask, how will I solve everything? Instead, ask, what's the next small step I can take? Sometimes that step is making one phone call, sending one job application, studying English for 20 minutes, cleaning one room, going for a short walk, talking to someone you trust. They may seem like small actions, but small actions create momentum, and momentum gives you hope. Think about a puzzle with 1,000 pieces. If you stare at the entire puzzle, it feels impossible. But if you start by connecting just 2 pieces, you're making progress. Then 4, then 10. Little by little, the picture begins to appear. Our problems are often like that puzzle. They become manageable when we focus on one piece at a time. Another mistake people make during hard times is trying to carry everything alone. They believe asking for help is a sign of weakness, but in reality, asking for help often requires great courage. Imagine your car breaks down on a lonely road. Would you refuse help simply because you wanted to prove you were strong? Probably not. You'd accept assistance and continue your journey. Life isn't very different. Sometimes strength means admitting, I can't do this alone. Family, friends, teachers, mentors, or supportive communities can remind you that you don't have to face every challenge by yourself. There's another habit that becomes incredibly important during difficult seasons: taking care of yourself. When people become stressed, they often stop sleeping well. They stop eating healthy food. They stop exercising. They stop doing the small things that help them feel better. But your body and your mind work together. When you care for one, you help the other. A simple walk outside, a healthy meal, a full night's sleep, a few minutes of quiet reflection. These aren't small luxuries. They're investments in your strength. Another powerful reminder is that progress isn't always visible. Think about a tree during winter. Its branches may look empty. It seems like nothing is happening. But underneath the ground, the roots are still alive. They're becoming stronger. People are often like that. Sometimes your greatest growth happens during the seasons when nobody notices. When you're quietly learning, healing, recovering, and preparing for what's next. Don't underestimate those quiet seasons. They're often building the person you'll become. So whenever life feels too heavy, don't focus on the entire journey. Focus on today's step. One conversation, one decision, one lesson, one act of courage. Because every great comeback begins with one small action, and every difficult chapter becomes easier to overcome. When you stop trying to do everything and simply choose to do the next right thing. Remember, you don't have to move fast. You just have to keep moving. Even the smallest step forward is still a step away from where you were yesterday. Lesson number 4. How challenges help you grow stronger. Nobody asks for challenges. Nobody wakes up hoping for disappointment, failure, or difficult days. But if you look back at your own life, you may notice something surprising. Many of the moments that made you stronger were also the moments that tested you the most. Think about learning how to ride a bicycle. The first time you tried, you probably lost your balance. Maybe you fell. Maybe you felt embarrassed. Maybe you wanted to stop. But every fall taught you something. Little by little, you learned how to balance. Eventually, you rode without even thinking about it. Life's challenges often work the same way. They teach lessons that comfort never can. Comfort is pleasant, but growth usually happens outside of it. Imagine a young tree growing in a place where there is no wind. At first, that sounds perfect. No storms, no strong gusts, no danger. But without wind, the tree never develops strong roots. Now imagine another tree growing where the wind blows every day. It bends, it shakes, it struggles, but over time, its roots grow deeper and stronger. When a powerful storm finally arrives, which tree is more likely to survive? The second one. Not because life was easier, but because life made it stronger. People are often like those trees. The difficulties we face can build strength that we never knew we had. Another important lesson is that challenges reveal your character. It's easy to stay calm when everything is going well. It's easy to smile when life is comfortable, but true character appears during difficult moments. When plans fail, do you give up or do you try again? When someone criticizes you, do you stop believing in yourself? Or do you learn from the feedback and continue improving? Hard times don't create your character, they reveal it. And every time you choose courage over fear, patience over anger, or hope over despair, your character becomes stronger. Let's think about English again. Imagine you struggle to understand native speakers. At first, every conversation feels impossible. You miss words. You misunderstand sentences. You become frustrated. But instead of quitting, you keep listening. You keep practicing. Months later, you realize something amazing. You can understand conversations that once seemed impossible. What changed? The conversations didn't become easier. You became stronger. That's an important difference. Many people spend their lives waiting for life to become easier, but often, life doesn't become easier. We become wiser, more patient, more experienced, more resilient. Another mistake people make is believing that pain has no purpose. Of course, not every difficult experience has a clear reason, but many challenges teach us valuable lessons. Failure teaches humility. Loss teaches gratitude. Mistakes teach wisdom. Waiting teaches patience. And difficult seasons often teach us to appreciate the good moments even more. Think about the sunrise. If every hour of every day were filled with sunlight, would it feel as special? Probably not. We appreciate light because we have experienced darkness. In the same way, we often appreciate peace because we have experienced struggle, success because we have experienced failure, joy because we have experienced sadness. Life's contrasts help us recognize what truly matters. So don't believe that every difficult chapter is destroying you. Sometimes it is preparing you to become kinder, stronger, more compassionate, more grateful, and more capable than you ever imagined. One day, you may even meet someone facing the same struggle you're experiencing today. Because of what you've learned, you'll be able to encourage them. You'll understand their pain. You'll remind them that things can get better. And your own difficult experience will become a source of hope for someone else. That's one of the greatest gifts hidden inside hardship. It doesn't just change you. It prepares you to help others. So whenever life challenges you, remember this. Every obstacle carries a lesson. Every setback carries an opportunity to grow. And every difficult season has the power to shape you into a stronger version of yourself. if you choose to keep moving forward. Lesson number 5, never lose hope, even when life feels dark. There are moments in life when hope feels far away. You wake up, but you don't feel excited about the day. You work hard, but nothing seems to change. You pray, you try, you wait. And still, the answers don't come as quickly as you hoped. During those moments, it's easy to believe that things will never get better. But remember something important. The way you feel today is not a prediction of your future. Feelings change, circumstances change, people change, and life changes. Many of the happiest people you know have lived through seasons when they believed everything was falling apart. The difference is that they didn't stop believing that tomorrow could be different. Hope doesn't mean pretending that life is easy. Hope means believing that today's difficulties are not the end of your story. Imagine you're walking through a long tunnel. It's dark, cold, and you can't see the exit. After walking for a long time, you may start thinking, maybe there isn't an end. But just because you can't see the light doesn't mean it isn't there. Sometimes the exit is only a few steps away. Life often feels like that tunnel. When we're inside a difficult season, we think it will last forever. But every tunnel has an ending. Every night is followed by morning. Every winter eventually becomes spring. Time keeps moving. And so does life. Another reason we lose hope is because we compare our journey to someone else's. You see people achieving their dreams, starting successful businesses, speaking fluent English, traveling the world, buying homes, building happy families. Meanwhile, you feel like you're standing still. But here's what you don't see. You don't see their struggles, their sleepless nights, their failures, their fears. You only see the chapter they decided to share. Never believe that someone else's success means there's no success left for you. Life isn't a race. Everyone has a different path. Some people bloom early, others bloom later. Neither journey is better. The important thing is to keep growing. Let's return to English learning one final time. Perhaps today, you still struggle to understand fast conversations. Perhaps you still feel nervous when speaking. But imagine yourself 1 year from now, if you practice a little every day. How different could you become? You may not notice the progress tomorrow or next week, but months from now, you'll realize that the person who once felt afraid can now speak with confidence. That's the power of hope combined with consistent action. Hope gives you the courage to continue. Consistency turns that courage into results. Another beautiful truth is this: sometimes the strongest people are not those who never fall. They're the ones who get back up every single time. Life will knock everyone down eventually. No one escapes disappointment. No one escapes failure. No one escapes difficult seasons. But every time you stand up again, you prove something to yourself. You prove that your problems are not stronger than your determination. You prove that your future is still worth fighting for. And little by little, that belief changes everything. As we finish today's lesson, I want to leave you with one simple thought. Whenever life feels heavy, don't ask yourself, how can I survive the rest of my life? Instead, ask, what's one good thing I can do today? One kind conversation, one healthy meal, one page of a book, one English lesson, one prayer, one walk outside, one reason to keep going. Those small moments may not seem powerful today, but together, they build a stronger mind, a stronger heart, and a stronger future. Remember, storms never last forever. The sun always rises again. And no matter how difficult today may be, your story is still being written. So keep believing, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, never lose hope. Because some of life's most beautiful chapters begin right after the pages that felt the hardest to read. Thank you so much for listening. Take care of yourself. Keep moving forward. And I'll see you in the next lesson.